Here are the 5 best subject lines I've ever tested out and ran that all got over 50% open rates for these e-com and CPG brands. Let's go. So this one got a 50.4% open rate, and the subject line was, I have a little note for you. Yep, that's simple. No caps. I mean, there's one cap, but you know, none of the fancy stuff a lot of brands do. You know, one quick thing I want to point out, especially when you're making your subject lines, is make it seem like it's being sent by a friend, right? A lot of brands, like, instead of, like, let's just say they kept the I have a little note for you, they would put like I, capital H, capital A, capital L, capital L, capital F, capital Y. They'll put a cap in each you know, word. And at the end of the day, like, you know, people obviously know that's going to be an email sent out by like a big brand that's like, you know, doesn't really, you know, people know it's a big brand. And with this one, I mean, number one, the email itself is very personalized. Just a quick little note. I mean, it looks pretty simple. It's really, really short. But aside from that, it's also just the fact that it's a very, very strong subject line in the matter of, like, it looks like it's made by a friend. So, you know, obviously, whenever you're making emails for subject lines for your own email designs, just make sure that it looks like a friend actually made it. It looks like, you know, I have a little note for you. Like, oh, it could have been like a business partner. It could have been a friend. It could have been a parent. And it makes it look very personalized. So just keep in mind when you're making subject lines for your own marketing emails, make sure that they look very personalized and they look like they were either being sent by a friend, a partner, or just somebody that, you know, the person knows. Moving on to the next one is a 50.2% open rate, and it's no, there's a new villain in town. Now this one's quite specific to points, but I mean the moral of the story is going to be generalized for anybody, is lean in fully to your brand. Obviously, like, I could walk through the email, but even with this you could tell, like, okay, it's going to be a little cartoony, it's going to be kind of funny, and then obviously who's the evil M&M? I'm guessing it's M&M's. But obviously, like, when you're making these type of emails, you want to lead in fully into your brand, especially because, like, obviously people are going to be in your email channel and they're going to obviously want to see, like, insight. I keep saying obviously, maybe it's not that obvious, but people want to feel like they're in an inside community. They want to feel like, okay, I'm actually part of something special. And when you have things like in little inside jokes, or you have little things like, you know, hey, have you heard, you know, Emma M is here. These little things make it, you know, seem like they're in a very special community. And not only that, but it does look it's not even that it looks personalized, but it doesn't look like, you know how it looks like? It looks like a Netflix show. Imagine like a Netflix show, or like a new TV show, or like a new movie coming out. Like, no, there's a new villain in town, right? The little no is for added effect. But I mean, don't be like afraid to go fully into your brand. Make sure that, you know, if you have certain words or certain stylistic choices or even certain tones that you use with your own brand, make sure you include it in your subject lines. All right, so moving on to the next subject line, it has a 50.6% open rate. Trust me, this is going to be the last 501 you're going to see, but it's the chocolate is not cheap. Why? And listen, this one's a classic example, but this one's a really, really good example of going with the negative and making it into a positive, right? Now, the email's point is to make it into a positive, but the subject line just by itself, like, just leading in with the negative makes people be seen curious. Like, if you always imagine if it was like, this chocolate is cheap. Why? It's not that enticing. But the fact that I add this chocolate is not cheap, right? I'm emphasizing that is not cheap. It makes people think, okay, why? And obviously, like, you know, people are more prone to negativity than they are to positivity. But obviously, it's positive when you actually go through the email. But yeah, this chocolate is not cheap. Why? And then obviously, like, hey, big thing you're going to be seeing a lot of it is, like, I use these subject line names. You can just copy it. There's sometimes in Klaviyo they show you how to input this, but yeah, I include their name a lot. And a real quick thing, if you don't have like their name, instead of just putting like, hey friend, make up a little name for them. This only works for like brands that are like kind of cartoony, or like if Olipop had like an Ollie, hey Ollie, you know, something like that, they could include it. But in our case, it's Hummy because it's the Hummyverse and the Hummy brand. But yeah, hey Hummy, our chocolate isn't cheap. You won't believe why. Or you won't believe why. That's another big one. But yeah, moving on to the 53.3% open rate is you earn free points. We're not fudging around. No, I sound super high pitched there. Obviously, one quick thing I will say about this email is $86, which was the amount generated. It's only $28 per average order value. I will say this is more of a problem. I'm just like a quick note. I know this is about subject lines, but like one thing I learned, like, don't just see this. Well, obviously you have the limited edition starter pack on the top, but like I would make the entire email based on that. I mean, if I were to do it again, I would just make it entirely based off free points. It's kind of like you don't even have anywhere where it says free except on the top, but most people don't read the top, they just read the main subject line. So yeah, like, or get free points I could put in the background instead of 100% delish. But anyways, that's on a side note. But the point is, you earn free points, you know, Hummy, we're not fudging around. Now, This one's just really the fact that it's a good offer, right? If you're going to go with an offer, and kind of what I was talking about with the email, lead with it. Make it very, very, very clear. If you're, buy two, get one free or something like that, where it's along the lines of like, you could, obviously get something for free, or it's a very strong offer, regardless of what it is, lead with it with your subject line and make it very, very clear. For this one, I could have made it kind of mysterious and be like, you earned free X, right? Or, you earned X chocolate points. Just make it clear. Make it as clear as you can. You earn free chocolate points. We're not fudging around. Don't overshadow your offer with the mystery. Simple as that. If you have a big offer, if you have a really good offer, make it plain and simple. Don't hide it. Don't shy away from it. Moving on to the last one is a 57.4% open rate, and this one's kind of funny. This is hard. Mix, match, and act. Simple as that. I will say, okay, so I'll break it down like this. Obviously, like it's like a little riddle or whatever. It's a question. It's a question-based text subject line. This is hard, mix, match, and act. But if I could take anything from this specific subject line, is kind of what I was leading to earlier in the video. Make sure the subject line you have is in continuity with the brand style, tone, and image you have. Anyways, back in the studio, guys. Obviously, it was a very short video, but I know you wanted to see what the subject lines actually were. So, hope this video helped you out. Hopefully, it got you guys some new ideas. Use it specifically to your brand, kind of optimize the subject lines to actually fit your brand and your style and your tone. But obviously this will probably give you a bit of a better understanding of like where to go and where to start with your subject lines. Anyways, hope you enjoyed the video. If you have a CPG or E-Com, I don't even have to say the thing. You obviously know what we do. All that information is down in the description. 100% commission basis. We love to work with you. Aside from that, hope God blesses you in every way possible. Talk to you guys soon. Alexander Jimenez out. Peace.